There's never really a quiet day at Ibrox, is there? But every so often something starts bubbling under the surface that feels different. Not just transfer rumors or the usual manager gossip, something with weight, something that cuts through all the usual noise and makes people around the club stop and pay attention. And right now we might be witnessing the start of one of those stories. As the summer transfer window creeps closer, it's not just about the big names being linked or who's going to take charge of the dugout next. Behind the scenes, a situation has been brewing, one that's caught the eyes of more than a few. Clubs south of the border. There's a growing buzz, quiet whispers turning into serious interest, and scouts from some of the Premier League's biggest names are circling. All of it centered around a young player whose name is quickly becoming hot property and whose next move could shake things up far beyond Glasgow. And let's be clear, this isn't just another academy kid being hyped up. This is about talent, real talent starting to bloom in the harshest of spotlights. The kind of talent that can't go unnoticed for long. Decisions made in the next few weeks could define not just this player's future, but play a key role in shaping Rangers' next phase. With new leadership still to be confirmed and the squad already facing a summer of restructuring, this story could become a turning point. But before we dive deeper into that, there's been an emotional farewell from one of the more recent additions to the squad. Rafael Fernandes, the young Brazilian centre-back, has said goodbye after what can only be described as a tough spell in Glasgow. Signed in January as a defensive reinforcement, expectations were high. He came with pedigree coming from Lille and was seen as someone who could add depth and potential to the backline. But as we all know, football isn't always a straight road. He managed just 4 appearances in all competitions with only one start in the Premiership, a game against Aberdeen that was cut short after just 20 minutes due to injury. And unfortunately, that pretty much summed up his time at Ibrox, a season filled with setbacks where fitness struggles kept him from ever really getting a proper run in the side. But despite everything, Fernandes made sure to leave with class. In a heartfelt message, he thanked the fans, the staff, and his teammates, saying that from the moment he arrived, he was treated with warmth, kindness, and respect. He admitted things didn't go the way he had hoped, but expressed genuine appreciation for having been part of such a massive and historic club. That's something you always want to see from a player: gratitude, humility, and respect. It's easy to fade away quietly when things don't work out, but Fernandes chose to acknowledge the experience and the people around him. And even though his spell was short and plagued by injury, he walks away with a Rangers badge in his heart, and that's not nothing. Now he heads back to France hoping to reset and restart his trajectory. Now let's get to the big story, and this one has the potential to explode in the coming weeks. Ryden Maguire, 17 years old, Rangers through and through, and suddenly on the radar of some of the most recognizable names in English football. Arsenal, Everton, and Ipswich Town have all started monitoring the young goalkeeper who's been quietly making waves behind the scenes at the club. If you've been paying attention to the youth setup, you'll know Maguire is not just any academy play. Last month, he stepped up big time. The Glasgow Cup final against Celtic went to a penalty shootout, and Maguire was the hero, pulling off key saves to hand the trophy to Rangers and announce himself in style. Moments like that don't go unnoticed, especially when you're that young, that composed and playing in that kind of atmosphere. And what makes this even more interesting is that Maguire's already had a taste of the first team environment. He's been around the squad featured in matchday groups and trained with the senior goalkeepers throughout the campaign. That's where he's been learning from the likes of Jack Butland and Liam Kelly, 2 experienced keepers who've taken him under their wing. After the Old Firm win at Firhill, Maguire publicly thanked both of them for their guidance and also gave a special nod to Alan McGregor, who returned to the club in February and spent time mentoring him in the final stretch of the season. Maguire called it a dream. And for any young Rangers fan, it absolutely is. Being in that environment, pulling on the gloves, standing between the posts for your boyhood club, even just in training, it's the stuff that fuels ambition. And make no mistake, this lad is aiming high. He's not content just to be around the squad. His goal is to become Rangers #1, to earn that jersey and make it his own. And judging by the way he speaks and carries himself, he's got the mindset to go along with the talent. But now the club faces a dilemma. Maguire only signed his first professional deal in January. That gives Rangers a bit of breathing room. But with Premier League clubs knocking, they'll have to decide whether to cash in or double down and secure his long-term future. The potential fee being talked about is in the 7-figure range with possible add-ons. Not insignificant for a young goalkeeper, but still a drop in the ocean compared to what he might be worth in a few years if his development continues. And of course, all of this is happening while the club still doesn't have a permanent manager in place. The decision about what to do with the goalkeeper group will ultimately fall on the next man in charge, whoever that ends up being. The current pool includes Butland and Kelly, plus young Northern Irish keeper Mason Munn, who made his debut against Fraserburgh and will be looking to push on next season. Butland, for his part, paid the price for a few high-profile mistakes during the season and was briefly dropped for the Europa League clash with Athletic Club. Kelly stepped in and performed admirably, even earning backing from Barry Ferguson as a legitimate candidate to become first choice. So there's real competition and a real question mark about what the hierarchy will look like between the posts when the new campaign kicks off. All this adds another layer to Maguire's situation. Is there a pathway for him to rise through? The ranks here, or with the lure of Premier League facilities, salaries, and development systems prove too strong? That's a question only he and Rangers can answer in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the bigger picture at Ibrox remains one of transition and uncertainty, particularly when it comes to who will be standing in the technical area next season. The managerial situation has been the source of speculation for weeks now, and while fans are eager for clarity, the club is taking its time, and maybe rightly so. After all, this is a massive decision. Not just about tactics and formations, but about identity, culture, and the direction Rangers will head in over the next few years. After Barry Ferguson's brief but spirited stint as interim boss, the club announced that he and his backroom staff, Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, and Alan McGregor, had stepped down. They stepped up at a crucial time, and to be fair, handled the job with integrity and effort. They were met with a standing ovation at Ibrox during their final appearance, a moment that meant a lot to everyone involved, especially Barry, who wore that badge with pride during his playing days and again as a coach. But now Rangers are looking forward. Right now, the recruitment process for the new manager is still ongoing, and the club has made it clear there's no favorite locked in yet. Multiple candidates are in discussions, and from what we understand, talks are progressing, but nothing has been finalized. There's no timeline being forced, which suggests that the board is determined to get this one right, even if it takes longer than expected. Patrick Stewart, Kevin Thelwell, and Greta Steinson from 49ers Enterprises are reportedly leading the search, and they're being thorough. Among the names in the frame is David Ancelotti, son of the legendary Carlo Ancelotti. Now there were reports in Brazil suggesting he had committed to joining his father in managing the national team for the upcoming World Cup cycle, but those rumors have been shut down. From what we're hearing, David remains open and even keen on beginning his solo managerial career, and Glasgow could be the destination. At just 35, he's got elite-level experience under his belt. Working at Real Madrid isn't just any job, and to even be considered for the Rangers role shows how highly he's thought of in coaching circles. Talks have already taken place and there's genuine interest on both sides. But he's not the only name being discussed. There's also the potential return of a familiar face, and this one stirring up emotions among the fan base. Steven Gerrard, the man who brought the Premiership trophy back to Ibrox after a long agonizing wait. His name has re-emerged over the past 48 hours, and sources say initial conversations have happened. Gerrard is understood to be open to returning, and while nothing is close to being agreed, just the idea of him coming back has already sparked debate. Gerrard knows the club, knows the league, and knows the weight that comes with managing Rangers. His first spell wasn't just about winning a title, it was about restoring belief, demanding standards, and building a team that fans could be proud of again. Some supporters see his potential return as a chance to pick up where things left off. Others wonder if revisiting the past is the right move. Either way, it's a storyline worth watching closely. Alongside Ancelotti and Gerrard, there are a handful of other managers reportedly under consideration. Russell Martin, who's recently been linked with the Leicester City job, is one of them. He's out of work after leaving Southampton, but clearly still in demand. Gary O'Neill and Rob Edwards have also been mentioned, as has Shaw Dish though. concrete links are harder to confirm at this point. What's clear is that Rangers aren't rushing this. They want the right man, not the quickest fix. The next manager will not just be walking into a job. He'll be taking on a project. One that involves reshaping the squad, dealing with player, sales and signings, and also restoring a sense of authority domestically and credibility in Europe. It's a massive role, and only someone with the right mindset, vision, and resilience will be able to handle the weight of it. While all of this unfolds, the players themselves are in limbo. Preseason plans are being drawn up, but until a new boss is in place, everything's on hold. Contract renewals, transfer targets, tactical plans. All of it waiting on the green light from whoever steps into the hot seat next. And that delay can be costly if it stretches too far into the summer, especially with other clubs already making moves. So the pressure is on, not just from fans, but from the situation itself. Rangers cannot afford to get this wrong. The gap at the top of Scottish football has narrowed and the margins are fine. One smart decision can swing the title race. One wrong move can set the club back a season or more. But with change comes opportunity. The pieces are there. A promising youth system, a loyal fan base, and a board willing to invest. Now it's about pulling it all together and setting a clear direction. Whether that includes keeping young talents like Wright and Maguire, bringing in a progressive coach like Ancelotti, or reigniting the fire with someone like Gerrard the next few weeks, will tell us everything about where Rangers are heading. Because in football, standing still is the same as falling behind. And at Ibrox, standing still has never been part of the plan. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In a bold move that signals Rangers' ambitions for the coming season, the Ibrox side has completed the signing of YUSUF KABADAYI, the highly rated young winger from Bayern Munich. The 20-year-old German-Turkish talent arrives in Glasgow with a reputation as one of the brightest prospects to emerge from the Bundesliga club's famed youth system. And his transfer has already stirred excitement among the Gers faithful KABADAYI, who spent the last season on loan at Schalke 04 in the 2. Bundesliga impressed with his pace, directness, and eye for goal. Though Schalke endured a turbulent campaign, the winger stood out with a string of dynamic performances, drawing attention from several clubs across Europe. It was Rangers, however, who moved swiftly to secure his services in what is understood to be a long-term deal. Manager Philippe Clement has made no secret of his desire to bring more youth and flair into his squad, and the arrival of KABADAYI fits that vision perfectly. Known for his blistering acceleration and ability to beat defenders one-on-one, KABADAYI offers Rangers a new attacking dimension on the flanks, something the Belgian boss had been keen to address following the departures of key wide players. Earlier in the year, speaking to the club's official channel, KABADAYI expressed his enthusiasm about the move north. "I'm proud to join such a historic club," he said. "Key Rangers have a massive fan base and play in a league that's very physical and intense. I'm ready to give everything on the pitch and help the team win trophies." The youngster's arrival also signals Rangers' continued commitment to building a squad capable of not only reclaiming domestic dominance from rivals Celtic, but also making a deeper impact in European competitions. With Champions League qualifiers on the horizon, Clement will be hoping that KABADAYI can adapt quickly and provide an early spark. While some might question the risk of placing responsibility on such young shoulders, those who have tracked his development insist that KABADAYI has both the mentality and skill to thrive in the demanding Scottish Premiership. Rangers fans, no strangers to passionate support and lofty expectations, will be eager to see their new man in action once pre-season kicks off. For now, YUSUF KABADAYI's signing marks a statement of intent from Rangers. With youth, pace, and potential on their side, the Light Blues are assembling a team built not just for now, but for the seasons to come. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.